Spartans, Badgers. 10 years ago, we were Titans, Goliaths, just behemoths of the Big Ten. And now we're going to debate who needs a bid to the Duke's Mayo Bowl more.
You are Locked On College Crossover, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a crossover episode of Locked On Spartans and Locked On Badgers. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Spartan friends, Spartan family, Badger Nation, how on earth are we all doing? And I'll just get in front of it right now. Will this be the most upbeat conversation we've ever had here? No. But, Ryan, I think we're going to have fun at least, right? I mean, we seem to have a good time whenever we link up, so...
Dude, I'm excited.
Okay?
I'm excited for this conversation. You know what it reminds me of? I don't know if you're a movie guy. You remember Grumpy Old Men? And these are these two old guys.
I'm the worst person to ask about this. Yeah, I am horrible at movie conversations, so we can edit this whole part out. That's fine, but go on with your Grumpy
We'll
Men.
keep going quickly because a lot of people in the Midwest will know this, but it's basically just two old men kind of talking and yelling at each other about how good things used to be. Like, we used to be so cool. Like, in the Big Ten,
the best.
we used to be the coolest kids on the block. Like, we
Saturday
were
night.
the initial Big Ten title game. You remember that? That was awesome.
Unfortunately, I do, actually. Yeah, I do.
Even before that, you guys hit the Hail Mary. Like, the two marquee games of the year. That was Wisconsin, Michigan State.
Saturday night, Herb Street, Musburger on the call. And that's when night games were, like, cool.
Yeah.
Like, you wanted to be a night game. I had a similar comparison I had queued up, Ryan, because this is like, hey, you know what? You watch some trashy reality show where all the contestants are in their mid-20s. They're sexy. They're looking great. They are just the cat's pajamas. And then 10 years later, they do a reunion show and everyone's gained 60 pounds. A few people are missing teeth. Someone's got fake hair. And another person, hey, the only time you've ever heard about them in the last 10 years is when you see them just doing something horrible on the front cover of a tabloid. So,
yeah. What the hell happened to us?
I don't really know necessarily. Is that the show? Is that it?
The show, right? Like, did we have the same downfall? Is it different? Did the Big Ten just get a lot better around us and we stayed the same? Like, what the hell happened to us? How did we both become so terrible considering a decade ago? I mean, Michigan State went to the playoffs, for God's sake.
We went to the playoff. It was a great time. We got a recruiting class in 2016 that was like top 15. They had just some dynamic athletes in that class, but they also had some serious baggage amongst a few of those kids in that class. Horrible headlines surrounding Michigan State. And look, eventually, the long story short is Michigan State eventually got snake bitten in the later stage of the Mark D'Antonio era by something we used to cherish. Hey, screw recruiting rankings. 4 stars and 5 stars, they don't matter. The only 5-star that matters is what's in the chest. It's the heart, Ryan. We develop, we identify, we get it out of the mud here in East Lansing, and that's how we got Rose Bowls, Big Ten championships. We defied the odds and went over our recruiting rankings. And then it turns out, oh no, what everyone's saying about recruiting and that it is the lifeblood of college football and that is not sustainable to just pluck underrated 3 stars year in and year out and just try to develop them. We actually caught lightning in a bottle a few years in the mid-2010s. It was fun. It was great. And then the 2016 class falls apart. We go back to our, 3-star, kind of just chip on the shoulder kids we're trying to pluck out. And look, they all tried their best, right? I don't mean to be mean about these kids, but it didn't equate to winning at the level that we once were in the Big Ten. And then, just Mel Tucker, we tried to hire Luke Fickell, and then you guys won those sweepstakes. But really, Ryan, with where both our programs are right now, it's not, no offense, I love Wisconsin. Believe me, you guys are our cousins in the Big Ten. It's not like it's great shakes over there right now. So in the long term, did we actually win this Luke Fickell thing? Did you guys actually take on baggage that we didn't even want?
I don't
like
know.
That spin zone? That's a good spin zone. You like that?
And we this feels like we're both in the parking lot with broke down cars arguing whose rims are nicer. Did you win the situation? I don't know. Like,
we have to win something, so just give something to us.
Did you win many games last year? Then the answer is probably neither of us won. Like, Wisconsin didn't go to a bowl game last year. We won 5 games, and even
they're overrated. That's fine.
Yeah, like, dude, nobody won, and that's kind of the point of this. Is how. Listen, I hear the recruiting thing. I think it's a combination of ultimately, we both lost our culture a little bit. Like, I love you talked about. I remember this. I remember the shift when Michigan State landed 4- and 5-star guys, but they didn't have that Spartan dog in them, right? Like,
sure,
and it lost some of the culture that made Michigan State great. That no-fly zone, that culture, that defensive intensity. And Wisconsin kind of did the same. They brought Luke Fickell in, but they brought in an air raid coach. Yeah. And listen, I fell for it because Longo, Drake May, great. This is going to be so much fun. But it turns out Wisconsin was pretty damn good just running the ball and using a fullback. And maybe we overreach. Like, maybe you get Luke Fickell, but you still keep the core of the program. I think that ultimately that might be one of the biggest things that happened to both of us is culturally we lost our way a little bit. And there is something to understanding what's worked for a long time at a place that maybe you need to tinker, but maybe not overhaul, right? And I think maybe that's the first reason that connects us is I think we both lost our culture a bit.
Yeah, shout out to Pardon My Take. This is a bit that they do, but this is like a verbal meme. So it's like, maybe you've seen it or not, but it's the bell curve, where at the bottom of the bell curve, it's someone happy just saying, hey, you need identity in football. And then at the high man's thinking point, someone that's just upset screaming, no, it's got to be this playing style. You need this sort of players. And then at the other side of the bell curve, where you come back to happiness, is just, at the end of the day, a culture does matter. Like, it truly does. And we're trying to reinstate that with Jonathan Smith. I think he's got our program on a pretty good track so far right now. But, yeah, if you lose your identity, it sounds so cliche and so stupid. But I think if you ask Spartan fans and Badger fans, there might not be two better fan bases in this conference to come together and agree that, hey, sometimes you just got to run the ball between the damn tackles, man. Hey, sometimes, you just got to develop players and make sure it actually works, of course. And, yes, you still do need some talented recruits here and there. But it does take a certain type of kid here. So that's where we're at right now, is trying to rebuild this culture. We've been using that C word a lot around these parts, and hopefully we're going to come back to what we once were. But, Ryan, like, who has hit the better stretch since COVID here? Like, because, look, on one hand, you have Mel Tucker, who I don't know if you've caught any headlines or any news clips. He's got himself into a little bit of hot water here to the tune of $85-ish million. Who's to say? I'm not one to count another man's money, but he's had some faults along the way. His last 2 seasons here weren't necessarily great, but we did go to a Peach Bowl one year. We did have Kenneth Walker, who was arguably the best player in the nation. Whereas Wisconsin, like, yes, you guys have gone to bowl games. Last year was your first one missed in a while. But, like, it's not like you guys went to 10 wins. So who's had the better, 4 years here? Do you take that one high season that Michigan State has had along with the baggage and going 3 seasons without a bowl? Or do you just stay steady Eddie like Wisconsin over there? Because I could truly go either way, I think. It's tough.
I would say this, man, with the baggage. Like, I just don't – I don't want to be in a world where I'm constantly waking up and trying to figure out if my coach had a conversation on a phone that went a certain way and what that means. Like,
it's not fun. It's not fun. Yeah. I'll get in front of it. That's not a great time. Now, as a podcast host who relies on content to do this daily,
not bad, right?
Oh my God, fantastic. But at the end of the day, I'm a Michigan State fan above anything. And those were, lost a lot of sleep those nights. A lot of sleep those nights.
But I would say Wisconsin. But again, there's no winners here. Again, like I keep going back to that, there's no winners here. Like
we're just two losers talking right now, man.
This is grumpy old men. We're both just yelling about how great it used to be and like comparing the peanuts in our pockets, right? Like I have 3, you have 2, and maybe you have 3 now and I have 2. Like there's no winners here with where our programs were and like the type of fans we have. Like we're not, God love them. No, we're not Northwestern. We're not Rutgers. We're not Purdue.
Yeah, sure.
We're real programs. I love how you said that too. You're like, yeah, sure. Like you don't even know anymore.
I think so. I think you're right. That seems about right. I'd like to believe that we're not. Man, God, this is a different tune than the last time we chatted during basketball season when we were talking about how great both our teams were. Oh my! It's like,
remember that?
Dude, we were actually genuinely smiling, not laughing to keep ourselves from crying, which is what we will continue to do here. But first, you need to talk everyone's ears off about Monarch Money. That is right, guys. Ever wish managing your money just felt a little bit easier? Well, I certainly know I have. With Monarch Money, well, it actually can, guys. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It is like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Now, Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It is a complete financial command center, so you can track your accounts, investments, and spending in one convenient place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building your wealth. Guys, also, if you got a partner in your life and you guys want to battle this finance thing together, Monarch Money is great with that. You get great cohesion with whoever you're doing your finances with in just one simple platform. Take the control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. Again, guys, monarchmoney.com. At least you guys have an easy schedule this year, though, to bounce back from. So that's good. For those that don't know, if you mind, do you mind if I just run through it really quick? Because I mean, you're probably so bored of counting all the cupcake wins that you guys are about to have this year. And of course, I clicked off your guys' schedule. Here it is. Now we're back on track here. Hey, your home slate, not too shabby. You get Miami of Ohio, Middle Tennessee State. Okay, Maryland. Ryan, this is
beating Maryland.
Right, this is fine. You guys are good, man. You get Iowa at home. You get Ohio State at home.
Okay.
You get Washington at home, and then you get a spicy Illinois team at home, which certainly there's no storylines with that one. There's no just former coach coming back for just bloodthirst. Oh, hey, there he is right there. Bert Bielema. There we go. Nice. And do you guys play road games this year? I'm just curious.
I think they may just stay in Madison for a couple.
Okay. Well, let's say I might have wrong notes here because the notes in front of me right now say that you guys go to Alabama, you guys go to Michigan, you guys go to Oregon, you guys go to Indiana, and then you guys finally get a break going to a heated rival that returns a really good defense in Minnesota.
And beat us last year, yeah.
Who did you upset to get the schedule? You guys have a class action lawsuit. Like, that is very legitimate. Should any Badger fan want to bring it forward? This is absurd.
Yeah,
it's absurd.
It's an absurd schedule. So the really quick is, Bama was scheduled back a long time ago, when strength of schedule seemed like it would matter more, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going to win the Big Ten West, or you're going to do well. And if you have that Alabama non-con, it's not going to hurt you. Those are gone. Indiana just made headlines, and I know this is not the Indiana show, but I'm actually kind of curious here. They got out of Virginia and another school, and they have it, and a lot of people are giving them shade. I'm like, that's so smart.
Yes,
it's so smart. Why would you handicap your team when the committee has already proven they don't care about strength of schedule? They care about wins and losses, and you're already playing in the Big Ten.
Maybe this is just us being losers again. I mean, because, sometimes the easier road is the correct path to take here. Yeah. And I got a lot of flack from this from my fellow Spartan fans and family here. And this pained me.
Here. Okay.
Yeah, because a few years ago, Michigan pulled the same SH bleep. Because I think they canceled a home-and-home with UCLA, which it's not like, they're anything great. Kind of like Indiana canceling their home-and-home with Virginia. It's like, you could beat Virginia, but don't set a trap up that is unnecessary for any reason. I think they swapped UCLA with Ann Arbor Pioneer High School.
Perfect.
I think they got some School of the Blind in the mix too. They made their schedule so simple in the non-conference, and everyone's screaming, "Oh, they shouldn't do that. That's easy." The hell you should make your schedule any harder than it should be. No, Indiana is doing it right. Michigan did it right. It's great.
Here's the thing. Dude, you are so dead on with this. Like Legos, you and I are sticking together. You are so dead
look at this.
If you are driving to work and one road has potholes and the mafia in a MI6 game, whatever it is, and a gang activity,
right,
as a Kmart and a 7-Eleven, take the easier road. Because ultimately, if you're in the Big Ten and you win 9-10 games, you are going to the playoffs.
Yes.
Nobody cares what your out of conference is.
Correct.
So here's the one thing I'd say. If every school committed to say, we're going to play one hard out of conference game, great. Then I'm down with it. But every school doesn't. So why should Wisconsin be handicapped?
Right. That's what I'm saying too. And look, Michigan State, they got a pretty good non-conference schedule this year. It's all of these games are at home. It's Western Michigan, it's Boston College, it's Youngstown State. But just like you said, hey, two different roads. One of them is just gang and potholes filled. The other one's Candyland. These roads do meet up at the same point again in the Big Ten Conference, which doesn't have any real path at an easy schedule for your 9 conference games. It's hard enough October, November. Just give yourself some reprieve in September. So look, I mean, it's admirable that you guys have Alabama, but if I was the athletic director, I'd be looking at whatever way I can get out of that to put, I don't know, does Superior State have a football team? They can get one on time for this game, should they?
It's admirable until you get beat 34-3, right? And you lose your starting defensive end to an injury. It's admirable until you get your teeth kicked in. And I'm not saying this can happen. Wisconsin fans are watching this and saying, right, man, such a defeatist. Listen,
You're realist. I mean,
Bama did that to us in Camp Randall last year. Like, it's not going to be different going down to Brian Denny, I don't think. And I love the Badgers, dude. I would love for them to upset Brian Denny, in which case I clip this, in which case I'm wrong, or a close game. Clip this and put it back to me. I would love that. I just don't see it happening. And it's right before you have that middle stretch of really tough games in the Big Ten. I just don't want to get beaten up for that stretch. So
that's fair. That's not so much to ask. Yeah, I get it. Everyone wants to be tough, big, bad. Oh, we play whoever, whenever, wherever. Like, you don't have to, though.
No, you don't have to.
Let's have to be like this. I mean, right.
I'll say this. Like, this game was scheduled beforehand, so this is not like something new that happened. It is what it is. But going forward, you and I are on the same path here.
So speaking of a bowl game, though, because this is a conversation topic I wanted to get to here, is that, like, who needs a bowl berth more between the two of us? And this can go a few different ways because, hey, Wisconsin gets back to a bowl. Maybe that brings stability with Luke Fickell, the coaching staff, the fan base, this, and that. Or, like, is there, like, a weird thing going on where, okay, if you miss a bowl game, at least you know that the next chapter has to start, and it's kind of a signal of, okay, we just got to part ways. Not that you're rooting for, your team to lose, but maybe this would just be the finality or closure to the end of a chapter here. Whereas us, look, year 2 of Jonathan Smith, we need to get to a bowl game just for fans to experience a bowl game for the first time in 4 years, but also show that this culture and his blueprint is going to work here in East Lansing. So a lot of different ways we could take this. Who needs a bowl game more between the two of us here, Ryan?
Gosh, that's a great question.
Yeah. Because it can only be one of us. It's not going to be both. We already know this. It's going to be one, not the other.
We could definitely get into like who gets better first, but who needs it more?
Yeah.
I'll just be honest. I think it's probably. Oh man, that's a great question. I'll say this. I think knowing Wisconsin obviously better than I know Michigan State as well, even though obviously we're familiar with each other. I think it's Wisconsin only in the sense of I fear greatly tremendous coaching churn. I think if you get to the point where you continue to churn coaches, then you reset recruiting relationships, you lose NIL momentum, you lose fan support, and the next guy might not be good. I mean, that's what happened in Nebraska. That's what happened to Indiana basketball, where you just keep cycling coaches and you can never get through it. I still think Fickell can be the guy. I really do. I think he made a terrible decision at offensive coordinator with Longo, which I talked about. I think you get a bowl game this year, which means like 6 wins against that schedule. I think people are going to be okay with that when they realize how tough the schedule is. And then it feels like you're building. Whereas you guys, I feel like, are an earlier stage of a reset. Certainly, Fickell came in with a different type of notoriety. I think it's really important for Wisconsin to get to a bowl game this year, like tremendously. Whereas, not speaking for Michigan State, but it feels like it's maybe not do or die this year for you guys in Smith.
It certainly just feels like it, though. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm like a chicken little and I just panic at the slightest thing here, though. But if you go 2 years without a bowl game, look, the first year not going to a bowl game, certainly a bummer. We've named all the reasons. Some people call them excuses as to, why that didn't happen. The long and short of it is lack of depth, new staff. Everyone knows the reasons of what happens in the first year coach. But also, like, you win in your second year, you also get the benefit of, okay, being able to sell the long-term vision of this program, not just to the fan base, because who really cares about us? We're not the ones between the hash marks, Ryan, right? But also other players, other transfers, recruits, which, like, certainly needs a jolt, especially in the shadows of Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. Like, we're reluctant to even go into battles with those schools just because we still got a long way to go. And also, I have it on good accord that there are some pretty solid transfers that we're looking at Michigan State. Michigan State had the highest NIL offer for them, so to speak. And they didn't come here because we just weren't winning enough. They wanted to go somewhere where it was proven to develop players, proven that they could actually win games. So look, it goes back to like the stupid sport brain bell curve. Sometimes at the end of the day, it's just the easiest. Winning cures all.
Yeah.
And yes, I guess, at the end of the day, if it is a wonky way to miss a bowl game, if Aiden Childs gets hurt, if, this and that, I guess. But look, you get a lot of benefit if you start winning here. And also I get benefit too because I can actually do like bowl game preview shows on this channel for the first time in a long time. So selfishly speaking, I'd like that too.
I totally get that. I mean, really, the real answer is both of us though then, right? The real answer is both programs desperately need a bowl game. And will that happen? I mean, I don't know.
It'd be cool, I think.
It'd be nice. Yeah. It would be kind of nice. And then we could get together for bowl season and talk about it again. I don't know, man. Which is more likely? Like, it's Michigan State just because of the schedule, right?
I think it has to be, and it's not all in the schedule. I do believe that there is reason to believe that this offense has been retooled. They kind of can you reload a position that was never even there in the first place with the offensive line? They bolstered the offensive line. Can we say that? They got some good transfers. They've returned a lot of experience from last season, and that experience came because it looked like Normandy out there with their offensive line. Everyone was hurt every week. So we had like 17 guys get college experience last year. So it's great. Everyone's coming back. But the defense is where a lot of the question marks lie. Our pass rush was abysmal last year. The secondary completely overhauled, and a lot of these guys are coming up from the FCS ranks, which they were very good at their FCS schools. It's not always guaranteed that's going to translate here in big boy country in the Big Ten. But at the end of the day, I just do have to go with the schedule because, look, it's a friendly handshake open to the season. The road games, no easy road games in the Big Ten, but hey, you get Michigan at home, you get Penn State at home, you end with Maryland at Ford Field. I think that there is a path to 6 wins. I believe they'll go 7-5 this year, but that's just where I see it at right now. I mean, I wish I could give you guys a fighting chance with that schedule again. I have everyone be upset at me, not you. Be upset at the Sparty over here. They're like, oh my God.
No, nationally it's fair. Like nationally, Wisconsin won 5 games last year, and you look at the schedule and you say, well, Billy Edwards is going to fix that. I think internally, and again, I'm an optimistic guy. That's where I lean in life. Internally, I mean, I am a guy that's picked up hitchhikers and has hitchhiked.
Nice. Let's go.
I'm still here, right? I lean optimist. I think internally there's a lot of optimism that Longo was just a disaster. And the starting quarterback was hurt the last 2 years. What's the odds of that happening 3 years in a row? Recruiting's been pretty good. So it should be better. But yeah, nationally, it's completely fair to look at Wisconsin, what they did last year in this schedule, and say, that thing's going underwater. Like, why would you take a bowl game there? So that's why if they got 6 wins in a bowl game, I think with that schedule, it would be a reset to the momentum. And then you can start pushing forward when the schedule lightens up, which it does after this year. That's the other reason why this year's a crux year. The schedule gets easier going forward. Not easy. We're both in the Big Ten, but easier. And now you've kind of turned that corner, hopefully. Potentially.
Now I'm having an identity crisis. I mean, because who are we? Like, what tier are we in right now? And I'm sorry to just throw out the old trope of, just rank things by tiers. But truly, because you made the comment, and I agreed with it, not with the utmost confidence, but I made the agreement that, we aren't the Purdue's. We're not the Northwesterns. We're not the Marylands. That's right. Those little rats in the basement down there. But I mean, are we? Can we confidently say we're above that? Even on my side, being bowlless the last 3 years, we are better than this, right? We can be better than this, right? We have been better than this a decade ago. Can we get back here?
We are. Let me dovetail that into another question that I had for you. Okay. And I don't know. This might have fit better in our first segment, but I've been thinking about this a lot because I knew we were going to do the show. I was flying. I was in the air.
Yeah.
Were those 2010-ish Michigan State, Wisconsin teams a mirage because the rest of the Big Ten wasn't very good? Because Ohio State wasn't where they are or where they typically are. Michigan was down a little. You remember their coaching transition.
Of course, yeah.
Penn State wasn't. Oregon wasn't in the conference. USC wasn't in the conference. Now, those Wisconsin, Michigan State teams were also legitimately really friggin' good. And the NFL draft picks on those rosters will tell you that. But how much of it was the bullies on the block were in juvenile detention?
Yeah, I mean, because we hear it from Michigan fans all the time, even though 10, 12, 15 years have passed, they'll always remind us that our wins against them and our great seasons actually don't count. They are stricken from the record, not because we had some illegal scouting organization going on, but just simply because they sucked that year. So that's how it goes when you have this conversation in the Mitten State over here. But for rational people that want to have the conversation, I'm more than happy to have it because, certainly they were down. Ohio State, wasn't the Urban Meyer Ohio State teams. But eventually, every year, some teams have to be down, some teams have to be up. And I was going to circle 2 things. One is, yes, there were draft picks on this team. These were talent-loaded rosters that we had. And also, it's what we did outside of Big Ten play, too, like Michigan State, after we suffered that, what I still consider and will always consider the worst loss as a fan ever, the 2011 Big Ten championship game. Right after that, turn around, beat Georgia. Okay, not too shabby. Hey, go out there, 2013, you beat Stanford in the Rose Bowl. They did pretty solid enough outside of the conference. Even 2015, going toe-to-toe with Oregon in Autzen Stadium, or that was 2014, I apologize. But you get the point. We played really solid against really good teams outside the conference to, kind of reassured that, no, this wasn't just some mirage. We weren't just beating up on, Boy Scout and Girl Scout troops left and right here during the season. It's just we were actually good, right? We did have 6-pack abs, Ryan.
Yeah, you guys did.
We did have white teeth. I did have a full head of hair, man. Like we did look good back in the day. Come on.
I agree. I actually 100% agree. I just know that conversation's out there. Like those teams had Kirk, like Cousins and Russell Wilson and
I know
Worthy and Monte Ball and the Scouts had 4 NFL offensive linemen, and you guys had the no-fly zone. Like Wisconsin went and ended up playing an Oregon team that was really good, and they lost just last possession. Those were amazing teams, right? I just know that conversation's out there, but it actually dovetails into my next one with everything that's going on in the conference, right? In college football in a larger sense with NIL. Has that changed our tier in the Big Ten? And you and I can have this conversation because sometimes I get on the Big Ten squad, love those guys.
The great people. Yeah.
Great people.
Yeah.
But it feels like a very odd dynamic sometimes because Ohio State's always on that conversation. Oregon's always on that conversation. Usually USC's there. And that's like, guys, I can't have the same conversation as the people that live in Manhattan. I don't live in Manhattan.
It's the cool kid. It's like I'm back in high school all over again. They're the cool kids table, and I'm just on the outside. What are you guys talking about? Hey,
no, we're not on we're on the table that it's like the quirky table. You and I, like, we're not at that table, right? So, is it my theory in this? And I wanted to ask you. We talked a little before the show. I feel like it's just more of the same. I'm so sick and tired of NIL.
Yeah, and I am too. Teams. Eventually, the good teams are going to be good. The good teams that are rich in resources are going to still be rich in resources like they always have been. And at the end of the day, the cream settles at the top, right? And this is also what I mentioned before we recorded, just at the top of the head. Like school in the NIL era that has blossomed that really wasn't there before. Texas Tech, like they just stumbled upon like just trillions upon trillions of dollars. But like in the Big Ten, unless someone's really going to surprise me, I don't know. Oh, Ohio State has money. Whoa, what a shock. Oh,
Penn
Michigan, Penn State, like, oh my God, Oregon's got oodles of money. Like, it's all the same. Oh, you're telling, oh no, Purdue's struggling with resources. That means they're finally going to struggle as a team. Like, come on, be serious. Right? Be an adult. Like nothing has really changed at the end of the day, I feel like. As lazy and cop-out of an answer as that may sound like, it is what it is, man. Like, I agree. I don't know.
And by the way, like, let's take it a step further. Because this whole show is about how terrible we are and how after the show we're probably going to drink, even though we haven't talked about that yet. Is Wisconsin bad because like they didn't have NIL resources, or are they bad because their last 2 starting quarterbacks have been Braden Locke and Tyler Van Dyke?
Could that be it? Could that be it?
And you can talk about, well, sure, they would have better quarterbacks if they had more NIL. Yeah, I guess, but they didn't have better quarterbacks before for the most part.
Yeah, right.
It's
right.
The more things have changed, I feel like the more they've stayed the same, mostly outside of an outlier, like you mentioned, Texas Tech, maybe SMU, who went on a bit of a spending spree, sure, but there's been outliers in every generation of football, right? There's been teams that on the periphery pop up or pop down, but the core teams, guess what? Who's good? Alabama and Georgia are still good. Shocking. Like Notre Dame's a good program. Shocking. Like they were good before and they're good after it. It hasn't really changed.
The only thing that NIL has done is it's given us a floor, I think, like resource-wise, of course, that like it's always going to give us a fighting chance, right? Like it's not like we are the school of the poor down here and we're just plebeians that, just have no fighting chance in the long-term future of the Big Ten. Like we certainly do. I mean, I'm speaking for my school. I'm sure you guys have some alumnus that are, flush with cash, enjoy sports a little bit here. It's not like you guys are some ragtag school. So I think we're kind of in the same place here. We have been for a very long time a top 15 revenue school. Money's never been the issue here. So
same at Wisconsin. I think we're both more have than have not in the food chain of college football.
I would say so. Yeah.
And let me ask you this: is Ishbia, since he bought the Suns, still? Because he was your primary guy, right? For Wisconsin fans who maybe don't follow Michigan State.
Sure, certainly. Right. He was, and again, he owns the NBA team now. We actually just got a mailbag question about this not too long ago, so hopefully this, feeds the appetite of that question. There's a lot of gray area. Can owners, give back to NIL for their school? I don't believe they can, but look, could there be like a shell organization to give money to? I don't know any information. I'm not, trying to be cheeky about this. I'm truly just hypothesizing here. I'm sure there's a way for Ishbia to get money back to the school. Should he want to, that's never going to be an issue. We also have a few different, very generous donors. So at the end of the day, can he give? He could find a way. Look, especially now, the revenue share, it doesn't have to go to this NIL pool. You actually just can give money to your school, and then it can be dispersed to athletes. Like, you can actually way above board give money back. So that's a long way of saying, like, I'm sure he's still got fingerprints around here. I'm sure that there's still some dollars coming in. Am I 100% in that? Am I reporting anything? No. But I see the world. I see that a lot of money can get you a lot of places, and laws be damned. We will figure out a way to do what I want to do, and I think he wants to help Michigan State. So that's my lazy answer there, which I think has some credence to it.
Love it, man. Let's make finish up here. By the way, I'm a Suns fan, so I would rather he divert all that money into Phoenix futures there, but it's on a different topic. Quick 30 seconds, because I know you and I always go past 30 minutes, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Locked On loves us. Yeah, we are always very tight on our time.
Zach will talk to me later, probably. Great guy, by the way. Zach Buckley's
Zach's a great guy, but he will give us a letter made of cut-up magazine letters with some threatening language. But that's okay. We'll get over it. We'll get through it.
Let me give you the 1 minute, and just for both of our fan bases, because both of our fan bases are incredible basketball fans, like incredible basketball fan bases. What's the 1 minute outlook on Michigan State this year for Badger fans? And then we're in favor.
So for Michigan State, it's funny. It's actually not funny at all. But like, as we get closer to football, like, I'm becoming a little more optimistic. Hey, and as we get further away from basketball, I'm actually like becoming less sold on next year's team. It's not to say like, oh, I think we're going to miss the tournament. We're going to be NIT bound. It's that I'm seeing Jace Richardson, and like, I knew how good he was here. I think his impact is going to be missed greatly. I don't know if he could just fix that with sophomore year Kerr Tang, with getting a transfer from Samford. Yes, you do have great returners in Jeremy Fears, Jackson Kohler, Cohen Carr. If those three guys were transfers, we'd be over the moon about it. We have a good floor for this team. I just wonder if the ceiling's going to be back to that, win the Big Ten, especially sharing a conference with Purdue, and then getting back to the Elite Eight. That's just a lot missing from last year's team. Even outside of Jace, Jaden Aiken, solid player. Frankie Fiddler, he was a great role player. So I'm fine with basketball, but that's the unfortunate thing. I'm just fine with it. How about you? What say you about your Badgers over there?
It's going to be a team that's going to shoot people in and out of the gym in classic Badger form. Stephen Crowell's actually going to be a real big loss. People look at Tanjay, the second team All-American. Crowell might be harder to replace because he's a footer who can walk, who can shoot, who's always healthy, who is dependable. I expect Blackwell, John Blackwell, people will probably remember him from last year on the Michigan State side. I think he's going to take a big jump. He's going to fill a lot of what Tanjay did. I think he's the star on the team. But they don't really have a center. They're going to take Nolan Winter, who was their 4 last year. He's going to be their 5 this year. He said he's eating every 3 hours, which I also do, but we do it for different reasons.
Right, yeah, okay.
We're
the same. That's great.
I'm also bulking up. I guess we're doing that for different reasons.
Yes, perfect. You're doing it for the Badgers, too. Look at you, team player Ryan Herons. Excellent.
We're both doing our part, I guess. Yes. It's going to be a really interesting Badgers team that offensively could actually be really, really good. They added shooting. They added Austin Rhodey from Virginia. Nick Boyd is a really interesting point guard they got from San Diego State.
Okay.
But defensively and on the interior, which won't always bode well in the Big Ten, I think there's going to be games that get bullied. So probably like you, I'm kind of like, I want to see it. I'm excited because I love basketball, but I'm not completely sold on this vision.
Yeah, like on the second tier, maybe this close to the third tier, but this far away from the first tier of Purdue. So we're going to be dogs in this conference, as we always are. Who are you kidding? So, folks, that's Ryan Herons over there, Locked On Badgers. You already know who he is. Guys over here, Matt Sheehan, Locked On Spartans. If for some reason you want any more of us, guys, hey, just keep on tuning in. We do this 5 days a week right here in the Locked On Podcast Network. Now, go take care of yourselves. Love you all, even you Wisconsin fans. I truly mean that. You guys are our brethren. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Later.